Alright, let's move on. So, bounciness. So far, bounce off has made sprites bounce away from other objects as fast as they bounced into them. In the real world, almost everything slows down just a little bit when it bounces off something else. You can use the bounciness block to tell your sprite how much to slow down or speed up when it bounces off something else. Do this. Read the code below and press run to see the behavior of the basketball and pool ball. So this looks pretty cool. The pool ball, since it's not really bouncy, doesn't bounce much. Okay. Use a bounciness block to set the bounciness of your soccer ball. Okay. I do believe that we would put it here. Run the code again, see how the sprite bounces off the floor. Let's make it, you know, it's interesting, this is not in camel case. Just an interesting note. I don't know why they didn't do that, but soccer ball, bounciness. So the pool ball is 0.4, basketball is 0.8. Let's make the soccer ball 0.8. So now the basketball and the soccer ball will bounce together. Cool. Before, the soccer ball was just bouncing endlessly. So that's what the bounciness block does. Okay, this level is part of a larger project. Changes will be saved across these levels. Flyer game. Add obstacle. So here's my flyer game, which isn't perfect, but it works. This is the flyer game you built in the last lesson. For the next several levels, you'll be adding an obstacle sprite to the game, using some of the sprite interactions you just learned. At the end of the level, you'll have a chance to keep adding on ideas of your own. Do this. Add an obstacle sprite to the game. You can use whatever image you like from the animation tab, but the example shown here uses a sun. Right now, you just need to add the sprite to your game and give it an animation. Add a new sprite to your game called obstacle. Okay. Well, let's add an animation first. And let's say you don't want first aid. That's a good thing. I want to make the obstacle a bad thing. Cassette player. Who wants a cassette player? Nah. Alright, so wait, let's rename it so it's something easier. Let's just name it cassette. Nah, let's name it tape. Like it plays tapes. And of course we got to create the variable for it. Tape. And set the animation. Tape. Tape. And it should be in the center. Alright, you know what? I'm going to pause the video and fix my coins. I don't know why they are just bouncing everywhere. Give me a second. I didn't fix it yet. I'm going to fix it later. But if you have the obstacle in your game, then you're done with exercise 12. So let's move on. Maybe we'll have a chance later in the video. Flyer game, interacting with the obstacle. You don't want your player to be able to move through the obstacle, so you'll need to use one of the sprite interactions. Do this. Add code to your game that prevents your player from moving through the obstacle. If you use one of the bounce interactions, decide whether you want to reset the bounciness of your character. I would like to use collide. I just think collide makes sense. I don't want it to really bounce off. I just want it to not be able to go through it. That's all I want. So if sprite, what's our sprite called? Character. Character. Collide tape. Character. Tape. Let's see if this works. Okay, cool. Yep, it works. Which sprite interaction did you decide to use? I used collide. Is there more than one sprite interaction that works the way you'd expect? Well, if you want to try each one out, like bounce and bounce off, you can do that. Otherwise, you can move on. Flyer game. Coin behind the obstacle. Good. This is what a problem I'm having. My coins are behind the obstacle. Right now, your coin is moving to random locations. That means sometimes it will even appear behind your obstacle, so your character can't get to it. Using sprite interactions, you can fix this problem. Do this. Add code to your game that prevents the coin from moving behind the obstacle. Don't be afraid to try out ideas just to see how they work. Okay, so I think collide is the best option here. So I'm going to do collide for both my regular coin and coin bad. So coin tape. Coin bad tape. Hopefully that works. Yep, cool. Okay, I think so. Now I'm realizing the problem. Yeah, when my character is touching the bad coin isn't resetting, and it's resetting the regular coin. Just something to note. I'll fix that later. Alright, you're done with exercise 14 once you've done that. Flyer game, change colliders. Right now, your colliders are all rectangular. Switch them over to circles to get more interesting and realistic bounces and collisions. Do this. Use the Sprite Set Collider block to change the colliders of your sprites to circles. Okay then. Let's find Sprite Set Collider. Okay. And character. Change it to circle. Coin. Change it to circle. Coin bad. Change it to circle. Is that all my sprites? Oh no, the tape. Alright, this is going to be weird because the tape is more of a, the tape player is more of a rectangular object. But let's see how this works. Oh, okay, it's just rounded. So even my character kind of goes behind it a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. Interesting. Set your sprite's debug properties to true to make sure your game is working the way you want. Okay. Well, I think it's working kind of fine. I'm okay with it. I don't want the tape to be rounded, I don't think. Let's see. Let's make it, let's change it. See how that goes. Maybe rounded is the way I want to go. Alright, well, you do whatever you want. I'm going to keep it like this. Alright, so exercise 16. Flyer game. Make it your own. Time to make this game your own by using what you've learned about sprite interactions. Do this. Add at least one more aspect to your game that uses sprite interactions. There are some ideas below, or you can choose to add features of your own. Make sure you're ready to share your ideas with your classmates. Create invisible sprites at the edge of your game to keep your character from bouncing out. Add platforms to the game for your character to navigate around. Add another obstacle to your game, or create another idea of your own. I'm going to do this first one. Create invisible sprites at the edge of your game to keep your character from bouncing out. Let's see. And I also want to fix this. So let me pause the video so I can figure out how. So I found the pretty obvious solution to my problem. I put if character is touching coin bad, coin.x resets. So obviously I want that to say coin bad. And then the game will work fine. Okay. So let's see. Yep, cool. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to add walls over here because I don't want my character bouncing out like he did just now. I want him to stay inside this square. So how can I do that? Well, I think I would create new animations. And I think I'm going to draw my own. It says make an invisible sprite, so let's see. Let's say wall 1. I'm going to draw a line. I think that's kind of confusing. Making, Alright, I'm going to draw a line. Okay, I think this will work. So this is called wall 1. Now let's create wall 1. Wall 1. Sprite set animation, wall 1. Wall 1. Watch out, that's kind of confusing. It looks like wall with 3 L's. Be careful. Alright, it's right there. Obviously, we're going to have to make that a lot wider. Let's add these two. So width and height, we're going to make the width 400. Height, I don't know, 10. Well, that didn't do anything. Okay, it's at 200, 200. I definitely want it to be down here. So, what's that? If this is 200, okay, we got to change the Y position. Yeah, it's about 200. So it's about 50 below the number. So this, and it'll be 50 below 400. So we'll do 350. Sorry if you couldn't follow that. Okay, cool, it's down here. How can we stretch it? Here, let's see if he bounces off that. Oh, no, he doesn't bounce off it. How can we stretch it? Let's make the scale. Sprite.scale. Let's change it to 5. Wall 1, 5. It disappeared. 3. Still don't see it. Let's add the bounce off, because I want it to bounce off it when it touches it. Let's change it to 1, see if it comes back. Maybe we need to put this down in the draw loop. No. Okay. I'm going to have to pause the video because I'm having trouble with this. Okay, I do believe I found the solution. You have to go into animation. And you have to select the image and you have to click this here, crop the sprite. So now my sprite is just this line. And I do think this should work. Let's see. We might have to readjust it. Alright, cool. Yeah, it bounced off. Alright, so what I want you to do is I want you to make these lines on the borders of the square so that your sprite cannot bounce out of the game and will always stay in this square.